Welcome in, curious crafters, to the 1 hour Saturday Spotlight. Today, we'll be highlighting the paper and ink spot. Any questions seen within the chat at any point will be seen, saved, and asked at the end of the 1 hour when Tess's 1 hour interview with me is complete. Now, Tess, please try and ignore the chat as best you can. I will begin the countdown clock as soon as you come up. So when you're ready, give me a thumbs up. She's licking her lips. She's poking her eyes. She's picking her nose. She's pulling a lot of faces, but that thumb's just gone up. Welcome, Tess.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Right, Miss Tess, I am guessing that you are ready for your interview.
I am.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Because
Okey-dokey.
I have my Mountain Dew.
She's definitely ready. Okay. Tessie's first question. How old were you when you first learned this particular craft?
I was in my early 30s. I think I was right about 30.
So last week?
Yeah.
And what actually started you doing this?
The birth of my first child. When my daughter was born, so I was actually 31 when I had her, and I turned 32 a couple of months later. So it's been about 25 years since I started making cards and doing scrapbooking and stamping, because that's what this is about. So it's been about 25 years. And when I had her, someone gave me a baby album and a couple of stamps. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. So being a creative person anyway, I just fell right in with it. And so I've been doing it off and on since, but mostly on for like the last 5 years. So yeah.
A little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who actually taught you to do what you're doing?
Actually, the first person that I learned from, her name was, believe it or not, Lisa. Yeah, and she was doing this like when I met her about, let's see, I think I was still pregnant, just about ready to pop when I met her, because a friend of mine gave me the album, the baby album. And I went to like a home party with her, and Lisa was our demonstrator. And so she kind of got me into doing the stamping and making the baby albums, the scrapbooking, the card making. That she didn't really do that much. She did scrapbooking mostly. So the card making I kind of taught myself in the beginning, and I did it for just a little while, and then I quit doing it and focused on the scrapbooking. And then about 5 years ago, another party and someone was there with Stampin' Up, and it just got my interest going again in the card making. So that's when I really started making cards, was about 5 years ago. I did it a little bit 25 years ago, but found that I was more interested in scrapbooking because my kids were little, and I have 3, and they were all being born 3 years apart. So I had plenty of time to scrapbook.
You've just mentioned Stampin' Up. What is this Stampin' Up? Does it involve people's heads?
Stamping Up is a company that's based in the US but is global. It's pretty much all over the world now. And Stampin' Up has demonstrators like me that are independent. We're like consultants, you know. So we don't really work for Stampin' Up, but we use all of their products, their stamp sets like this, their papers, you know, the cardstock, the ink pads, all of their tools. You know, this is a mini paper cutter. They have everything you need to make cards. And the great thing about Stampin' Up is they also have everything you need to scrapbook, and they use pocket pages. So it's not those old time 25 years ago when people were scrapbooking and you had to spend literally hours on one page because you cut things and you arranged the whole paper, and they were big. They were 12 by 12. And to make a halfway decent thing, you spent a lot of time on it. Today, it's pocket pages. So you slip your pictures in, you actually print them. And I know, right? In the age of digital. Yeah.
Cheating.
But, yeah. But you actually print them, because we all know digital pictures do not get looked at very often. You get them on your phone or you store them on your computer. And how many times do you bring them up and actually show them to people? So when you have an album that's sitting on your coffee table and people come over and they flip through it and they're like, oh, wow, no, you know, that's a cute page, or oh, awesome, your kids are so cute, or whatever, you know, it's like a focal point. And it's like a big coffee book in a way, but it's
so it's kind of a more personalized photo album.
Exactly. And it's easy to do because Stampin' Up makes cards that are 4x6 and 3x2 that fit into these spaces, and they're pre-decorated. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't embellish them more. You absolutely can. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. You just slip them in and go, and you are done. And I love that because I can do a whole page in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Whereas the old-fashioned way where you decorated your whole 12 by 12, you just got one big blank page that you had to cut all the die cuts out. You had to, come up with the design and everything in your own head. It took forever. So, yeah, I love pocket pages.
Those days.
Yeah.
Where do you get most of your materials from? You've said that things could be made up in about 10 minutes. So you must have a lot of materials on hand. So where do you get most of them from? Is it one particular place, or do you go hunting in a certain way?
It's all from Stampin' Up. And, you know, back when I first started card making, and especially scrapbooking, I didn't know about Stampin' Up in the beginning when I started scrapbooking. So I first learned about Stampin' Up about 5 years ago. But I get everything exclusively from Stampin' Up now. I get all of my scrapbooking supplies and all of my card making and just paper crafting projects in general. I get all of that from Stampin' Up. So their products are really high quality. And my thing is, I used to go to Michael's or Joann's to buy cardstock. And then I found Stampin' Up's cardstock, and it was night and day difference. The quality of the cardstock, the rich, vibrant colors, the thickness of the paper, the smoothness of the paper. everything about it. It was their paper that first won me over. And then once I started slowly ordering more and more of their things, I came to find that everything was very high quality. And so the person that I was working with at the time said, "You order so much from me. Why don't you just become a demonstrator? And then you'll get your discount." And she says, "You don't have to sell it if you don't want to. You can just get it for yourself." And I thought, oh, I like that idea. A discount. I like that idea because, you know, I'm a girl who loves a sale. I'm telling you, girlfriend, love a sale. So that's why I joined Stampin' Up. And I have been with Stampin' Up now as a demonstrator for 3 years, or over 3 years, going on 4, I think. So yeah, that's how it all began. And that's where I get all of my supplies, Stampin' Up.
Something tells me she's got this thing with Stamping Up. You know, just a guess, pure guess.
I do. I love Stampin' Up. I love it.
With regard to any of your paper craft, do you have a look through magazines or websites or anything else and grab ideas and go, do you know what, I like that, I'm going to make that, but my version? Or do you do completely yourself?
Every once in a while, I am a very creative person. As a, you know, I'm a retired teacher. Teachers have to be creative because over the years, our budgets used to be big. And by the time I retired, it was like that. So you have to be creative and you have to do a lot of your own things for your classroom. Like I also, I sew. My mother taught me to sew when I was 11 years old. So I would sew things for my kids. And I would sew these things that fit on their chair that they could put all their books in. And that way they had something to carry their books in because not all the kids had backpacks, because my district that I worked in was very economically challenged. And so parents were working 2 and 3 jobs and still couldn't afford to buy their kids basic necessities. So yeah, I found myself making a lot of things for my kiddos, and you know, and that's most teachers. So that creativity is kind of built in. So when I started making cards and doing things like that, most of my ideas, they just come out of my brain. But sometimes I go on Pinterest and I do look at Pinterest and I see an idea that I like and I think, okay, I like that idea, but I can do it differently to where I would like it better. And because we all have our own individual taste and our own styles and we all like different things. So yeah, so I would look at something and I would definitely see something I liked about it, but I knew that I could take it and make it my own. And so once in a while I do that on Pinterest. I also look at YouTube videos sometimes if something pops up in my feed that interests me, like a stamp set that I have that I'm just kind of struggling with trying to figure out what to do with it. I like the stamp set, but it's like nothing's really popping into my brain. And then I see someone on YouTube do something with it and I think, oh, I can do that too. And so I might do a version of that on YouTube. So Pinterest and YouTube, once in a while, I'll get ideas from them. But I would say 75% of the time, everything I do is original. It's right here. So
I have to say, I thought you were about to say everything I do it for you. And I was going to sing along with you. But you didn't.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, if I started singing, people would be running to the bathroom. So I don't sing.
No, please don't. Okay. So next question. What inspired you to start YouTube?
What inspired me to start YouTube was the pandemic. Before the pandemic, everything that I did with Stampin' Up, I did face to face. So, meaning that I had people come to my house or I met people somewhere else and we would get together and make cards or do scrapbooking, whatever it is that that person or that group of people wanted to do. And so the pandemic hit in March and it wiped out, literally wiped out face-to-face
Interaction.
crafting.
Yeah.
Face-to-face crafting, yeah.
I'll
Unless
go with that too.
yeah, unless your crafters live in your own home, because that's your bubble, right? The people that you live with or a family that you kind of contract with to be your bubble, meaning they don't interact with anyone else but you, and you don't interact with anyone else but them. And that way you can safely come together. So, and we do have a family like that, but they're not crafters.
She's the only one.
Yeah, I'm the only one. So that inspired me to get on social media, which I really had no real experience with social media. I had a Facebook account that I had joined Facebook a long time ago with just my friends and family, not extended people, people that I didn't know in real life. I never had those. I never had anyone on Facebook like that, but I did make up a Facebook page for the Paper and Ink Spot, and I created a blog. It's ThePaperAndInkSpot.com. I have Instagram. I have a pretty much everything now for the Paper and Ink Spot.
For those that want to check it out, it's all in the description below. So if you want to head over to any of the social medias that Tess has just mentioned, give a click down below. But not yet. We still have an interview to do. Sorry,
Yeah.
Tess.
And be kind, because I'm still really new at social media. And so I'm not a fancy social media person because I'm still learning how to do it. So yes, please be kind.
I so want to say, please be kind, rewind, but this isn't VHS. You've said about your scrapbooking, and it takes about 10 minutes to do a page, roughly.
Right.
Away from the scrapbooking, you've mentioned other paper crafts. Let's go with your card craft. How long typically does it take you to make a card if you've already got something in mind?
If I've already got the card in my brain, it can take me as little as 10 or 15 minutes to make a card.
Wow.
So, yeah, I made this one in about 15 minutes.
Oh, hang on. Let me stick you on the large screen, girl. There she is.
Whoops. Get it in the camera there.
Oh.
Yeah, so it didn't take long to make this at all. And it's just a celebrate with you card. And it's winter, so I made it snow. So it's a little snowman.
Can you open it a little bit to show them that it's actually a window?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the window.
It is a window. And it's got glittery snowflakes on it. Glittery.
And hey, Tess, let's face it, it's blue as well. Blue and sparkly. You're on the right channel.
It is blue as well. And I use this new tool. It's a blending brush.
Yeah, the blending.
Yeah, these are brand new from Stampin' Up. So I love them. And I put this color on. It was white like this. And I blended this blue color on. So you can see the different shades of blue.
So it's even more personalized.
Yeah. So, and it's just so much fun. I just love it.
Yay!
Yeah. And you make a card like this and then you look back at it and you think, wow, I did that all by myself. And it was pretty
But for
good.
you, it takes 10, 15 minutes. When I do it, it takes me about 4 or 5 days. And then I still look at it and go, yeah, 4 or 5-year-old could have done that. But, I try.
Well, are you using Stampin' Up though?
No.
See, that's the problem. Because with Stampin' Up, everything coordinates. So I
Yeah, but
have
my brain doesn't coordinate with my hands, Tess.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But I see that. But they do have papers, embellishments, ribbons. Everything coordinates with Stampin' Up. So you don't have to worry about trying to match things. They have the ink, they have the pencils, the watercolor pencils, they have the alcohol markers, they have regular markers, they have everything that coordinates. So it's very easy to put a card like this together because you have all the tools that coordinate. You don't have to worry about how do I match this or that. You just pick a stamp set and then you can use all the things that coordinate with that stamp set. It's really easy.
You say that now. You wait till you see one of my cards. Okay, next question. Are you known for any particular technique or style with your craft? Or do you just does it differ mood to mood or day to day? Or is it just that's definitely a test card?
I am known for layering. I do a lot of layering on my cards. So
hang on, let me make you big and then you explain layering to people. Hang on. Come on, silly mouse. There we go.
So if you can tell, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers on this card. This is 6 layers. It's the card base, which is espresso right here. And then I have some DSP, which is designer series paper. And then I have espresso again right here. I have Cajun Craze next. And then I have the actual image is stamped on Very Vanilla. And then I have the sentiment, which is also stamped on Very Vanilla. So I'm known for layering. Yeah, I like a lot of layers.
That's not good when you're sending abroad, though.
Well, when you're sending abroad, you can still do the layering. You just don't pop it up. So if you can see, whoops, trying to get my camera here. So sorry about that. I've used pop-up dots to actually pop this panel up. So this panel is popped up. But you can make this flat. And that way sending it abroad is not an issue. Also, this is kind of a fancy fold card. So you can see it's not your traditional card front here. See that? It looks like it when you're just looking at it like this. But when you open it, it's not. See?
Awesome.
So that's what I'm known for. Doing layering and doing like weird fold cards, They're called fancy fold cards, but yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah. And I do like to do a lot of layering. This card has almost no layering at all. So that's very unusual for me. But I wanted a fast, simple card that I could make, that I could turn into Christmas cards or thinking of you cards or whatever to use during the winter months. And this is a great card to use during the winter. Because here where I live in the great Midwest, we get snow in the winter and it's cold. So a snowman card is perfect. So that's
I
what I
agree.
wanted. Yeah. So
And
that's why we
sparkles
do
help.
little layers. Hmm?
Sparkles definitely help.
They do.
No
Yeah.
matter the occasion, sparkles should go on everything.
You know
Okay.
what? I agree.
Next question. What was your very first video here?
My very first video, let's see. I think my very first video for the Paper and Ink Spot was an unboxing, an unboxing of Stampin' Up! Products. I think that was my very first video. My most popular video, which I have thousands and thousands of views, is my craft room tour. So yeah, that's a big thing for people to look at. So I had thousands and thousands of views. It blows me away every time I look at that video and then I see how many views I had on it and I'm like, wow, that's a lot.
I'm taking notes as we're talking here, Tess. I'm taking notes. What do you like most about your paper crafting?
What I like most is sending my cards that I make to people to make them happy. Because when you send a card to someone, and I mean you send a snail mail paper and ink card like this, people know that you made this yourself. It's a handmade card. And I actually have a stamp that says cards by Tess. So people really do know that I made this. And that just means something. It means that that person was thinking of you and thought enough of you to make you a card and then actually send it to you through the mail, which people just don't do that much anymore. Not with the internet and social media like Facebook and Instagram and things like that, where you can send a message or texting, instead of actually sending a real card through the mail. People so often will just send you a message on Facebook or something because it's quick and convenient. And I'm not knocking that at all. I'm just saying that sending someone, a card that you have made, that has a big impact on people. And that's what I enjoy most about it, because when I make a card for someone, I want them to feel special. I want them to know that I'm thinking of them and that I'm missing them, especially through this pandemic, and that's what I enjoy about card making, is just making other people happy by sending them a handmade card. It's pretty simple. Yeah.
The littlest things can mean so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why do you feel? Why do you feel? Sorry, completely wrong question. Let me try again. Right. Is there anything you don't like about paper crafting?
Well, I tend to make a mess.
Okay.
I do. I have little scraps of paper and little backings of our pop-up dots and things like that. I have those. We call them dimensionals, but they're like little pop-up things that add dimension to your cards. The backing on those are really tiny, and usually I have a ton of them all over my desk.
Oh, it's so tiny. Hang on, let me maximize that just for proper effect here. Show us that finger again, Tess.
Okay. So little backings off of my. Let me grab them. Hang on.
She's grabbing.
I'm grabbing. These are dimensional. Oops. These are dimensionals. And if you can see these they're little tiny hexagons and octagons, no, hexagons, and the backs pop off and they have sticky stuff on them. This is what a dimensional is. And they make your items pop up off the paper or off the background like this. See how I have my finger under here? That's because it's popped up with a dimensional. So I do have these little things usually everywhere. And I also have little scraps of paper from cutting things, you know, like tiny little slivers. Oh, sorry about that. Like this. Whoops. Little slivers of paper, you know, that are really trash, and they just kind of find their way to my floor.
How did that get there, I wonder?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. And so I'm constantly sweeping my floor. And that's one thing that I do not enjoy, sweeping my floor.
Just leave it there, it'll be fine.
Well, it hurts my shoulders, hurts my hands to sweep the floor. So that's why I don't enjoy the messy making part of it. But you know, there are people who can make 20 cards and not have a single thing on their floor. Yes.
Oh, I wish that were true.
No, I'm just not one of them. No. I'm a messy girl. I'm a messy crafter, but it's okay.
What is your favorite medium to work with?
I would say I really love the alcohol markers.
You're not drinking them, are you?
No. Alcohol. The Stampin' Up! Alcohol markers that we have, because you get a light and a dark one. And of course, everything coordinates and you can blend them and color things. This is an example of something I colored with alcohol markers. So I colored this little chipmunk, and then I colored the plant right here. And I used my alcohol markers. So they're very blendable. And
I like that word, blendable.
Yeah, and there's just something about coloring. You know, like we all did that as a child. I mean, itty bitties. You know, we started coloring. And it's just something about doing it as an adult. It just still makes me happy. Yeah. So I love my alcohol markers. That's my favorite thing to work with.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I am pausing the countdown clock thingy bobbity what's it just for a moment to let people in the chat know that any compliments or questions that are in the chat, because Tess can't see them or shouldn't be able to see them, or I'll poke her eyes out, they will be saved and they will be asked at the end. So as we are halfway through, if you have any questions as we're going along, get them out there. They will be asked. But for now, Miss Tess, we will continue.
Okay.
Ta-da! Okie dokie. Next question. Have you ever taught others how to do your paper craft?
Yes. A lot.
Why? How?
Why? Because I love doing it and I want to share that. I want to share what I love with other people. And it just gives you a sense of satisfaction when you show something you've done and then you show someone else. You teach them how to do that. And it gives you satisfaction too, because you're seeing their enjoyment. You're seeing them discover something new and something exciting for them. And so you're giving them a gift in a way by teaching them how to do something that you do and that you enjoy so much. And hopefully they'll enjoy it as much as you do. And if they don't, that's okay too. Some people like to make cards only at Christmas time. Other people love to make cards all year long. They send out thinking of you cards, they send out birthday cards, celebration cards. There's so many different cards for so many different occasions that you can send out that most people that I teach how to make cards, they actually enjoy doing it all year long. But there are those occasional few who just really want to do it at Christmas. They want to make their own Christmas cards and send them out. And that's fine too, because they love doing that. So it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, that's why I enjoy it. And, I am an old teacher anyway. So there you go.
She's saying she's an old teacher. Old, she's saying.
I
And
am old.
she deliberately wanted this particular camera to show her wrinkles and spots and eyebrow hairs and all sorts. She's nuts.
Yes, I did.
Right. How do you judge some work to say, yes, it's good, or no, it's not right, I'm getting rid of it? How do you go about judging it?
You mean my own work, right?
Your own work. How dare you judge someone else's?
No, because I never judge anyone else's.
Good girl.
Because we're all different and we all like different things and we all have different styles.
Please remember that when I send you a card, Tess. Okay? Good girl.
Okay.
Yes.
I will. And I would love to receive a handmade card from you. I would love to receive a handmade card from anybody. So just saying. But for my own work, I don't stop working on a card until I look at it and go, yeah, that's it. So it's just some kind of internal thing. I mean, if I'm making a card and I don't like it, then I continue working on it until I do. Like maybe I need to add some ribbon to it or some other embellishments, like some little pearls or little diamond dots or, just something. It's lacking something. And I'll find that something and I'll put it on the card. And then I go, yeah, that's it. And then I'm done and I'm happy with it. So that's kind of how I do it. It's just me.
You keep working till it clicks.
I keep working until it clicks. Yeah. And there was a card I made that I thought it just looked too plain and I didn't quite like it. It's this card.
Oh, hang on. Let me stick you into the big picture again. Here we go.
Oh, okay. So
there you
it's
go.
this card I made, which is a congratulations on your new home. And it says, congratulations on this new beginning. And I didn't like it. I thought it had too much empty space over here. So I added these embellishments right here. And then, and once I added those, I liked it. So yeah, I liked it once I added those embellishments. So yeah, you just got to keep going. On this card, I didn't like this card until I added the ribbon. And once I added this ribbon, then I liked it. Yeah. So this is another fancy fold card. It's just a card that folds differently than what you would normally expect. But yeah, this ribbon to me made all the difference. So
sometimes the smallest and simplest thing.
Right. Yeah, really true. Really true.
Let's shrink your head again, shall we? There you go.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so your channel, The Paper and Ink Spot, Why should we watch you? Why should we subscribe to you?
Because, first of all, I can teach you my techniques on making cards and scrapbooking. Secondly, I'm a fun person. Yes, I am.
Don't believe it for a second.
I'm fun, totally fun. And I like to have fun. So when I'm doing a tutorial, I like to kind of interject a little fun into it because you know what? Life is stressful right now for so many people with the pandemic and the financial crisis of people losing their employment and all of that because of the pandemic. If I can do a tutorial and make someone smile or make them laugh, um, to me, that's a job well done. And I don't care if you actually make the card yourself or not, but if you subscribe and you watch me and you get some enjoyment from it, that's what's important to me. You don't have to buy my products or visit my online store if you don't want to. Just come and hang out with me on YouTube, and have some fun. And if by chance you want to make the card I make, then you can visit my online store and you can buy everything you need to make it. So it's up to you. It's whatever works for you.
I like your answer, Tess. I would clap, but I've got a cat stuck to one hand. So I can't do it.
Thank you.
Are there any crafters or designers that you particularly look up to and are inspired by yourself?
Well, I am very much inspired by my upline. Her name is Tammy Savillo. She does not have a YouTube channel yet. Tammy, if you're watching this, girlfriend, get on the ball, honey. So yeah, she needs to get a YouTube channel because she is incredible. There is another Stampin' Up! Crafter who is a man, and his name is Jason. And Jason is incredible. I mean, his cards blow me away. Woo, blow me away. He's so good. And he's so creative. He thinks of everything on his own, and he just makes the most amazing cards. And yeah, I just love him to death. His name is Jason, and I'll actually give you his link because
so he has a YouTube channel.
He does have a YouTube channel, and he has Instagram and Facebook, I believe. But if you go to his YouTube channel, he will have all of his other social media places linked. So he's really amazing. And he's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator just like me. So, yeah.
Well, what I'll do then after this interview, for anybody that's interested, I'll put both people down in the description below within an hour of this going up. So that if you want to go and try and check these people out, because Miss Tess looks up to them, by all means, you go into the description and clicky linky. Yay!
Yes. And I have to say, my Aunt Pat, who is 80 years old, is another person who makes cards. And she does Stamping Up as well at 80 years old. And she has a style that we refer to as kind of like clean and crisp style. So it's simple but classy, if that makes sense. And she is very talented as well. That's my Aunt Pat. She's my auntie. So yeah, but she doesn't have YouTube or any other kind of real social media for her cards. I've encouraged her to do it, but we'll see. I think she's a little tech challenged. At 80
It's
years
not,
old,
it's
I
not
mean.
for everybody, but good
No,
girl,
it's
keeping the
not.
cards
But
going. Good girl.
yeah, but I do post her cards sometimes on my Facebook channel, just because her cards are really beautiful. So yeah,
It's a
my
nice thing.
auntie. Yeah.
Um, you've touched on, you've mentioned that you have a store, you do sell your craft, you do help sell the items to make the cards, etc.
Right.
Can I ask you where you sell and how you go about pricing your own made items?
Well, I don't sell my own cards. I
Oh,
make them. What I do is I donate a lot of my own handmade cards to hospitals and nursing homes.
oh,
And what I do is I make the cards, I bundle the card with an envelope, and then I drop them off at a nursing home or children's hospital or whatever agency facility that I'm donating them to. And then somebody there will address them to the residents or to the patients that are there, and they deliver the cards to them. And they get a handmade card. And these could be cancer patients in the hospital, or they're elderly people in a nursing home that don't get a lot of visitors, especially now during the pandemic when everything is shut down. And so they get a card and it brightens their day. And I would rather donate my cards than to sell them, you
that's
know.
really sweet.
Yeah, donating them just brings so much joy to other people. And that's what I like. That's what I like about doing this. So yeah,
That
that's
I
me.
I can just imagine that gives you that little bit more of an adrenaline rush and a kick up the butt to keep on going.
Right. Plus I love doing it. So, you know, I yeah, I just love making cards and I love making other people happy. So what better way than to make cards and donate them to a place that can pass them out to, to the people there, and give them a little joy and make them know that somebody else was actually thinking of
Thank
them.
you. Yeah.
Right.
Do me a favour, Tess.
Mhm.
Give yourself a little pat on the head. No, really, there you go. That's from me.
Oh,
Well done.
thanks. Thank you.
Um, what do you do to make your workspace inspiring?
I like it to be aesthetically pleasing, actually. I really do. I like to be tidy, even though I always wind up with paper all over my floor usually. I still like my plate my workspace to be clean and organized. I guess organized. I want to know where everything is. So everything I have has a home. And when I'm done using it, it gets put back in that home. So that makes me happy, and it makes my crafting much easier because I know where everything is. I don't have to run around like a chicken with my head cut off, looking for something. And if you've ever seen a chicken with their head cut off, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm an old country girl at heart. Yeah, and I've seen a chicken with their head cut off. It's not pretty.
As long
So
as you don't start laying eggs around the craft room, I think we'll live. Um, how do you combat a block if you really need to make a scrapbook page or a particular papercraft item, and it has to be done, but you've just got nothing. You've got absolute blockage. What do you do to combat that?
what I will do usually is go to Pinterest and look and see what other Stampin' Up! People have done with their stamp set. So yeah, that's usually what I do. I'll go to Pinterest and I'll just
Good old
put in
Pinterest
the,
strikes again.
yeah, and I'll plug in the name of the stamp set, and then just tons of stuff will pop up. So because there are thousands of demonstrators, so and most of them are on, well, I don't know if most of them, I would just say there's a whole lot of people on social media. And so, yeah, I'll just go there and get some ideas, and I'll see something and I'll be like, "Ooh, that gives me an idea." And then I sit down and do what I do. So, yeah.
Lovely. Good old Pinterest. A lot of people mention Pinterest as their
Yeah.
enema, their constipation, as it were.
Yes, it can be addictive too. I mean, it's like a rabbit hole. Fall
Yeah,
down.
you've
Yeah.
got to put your blinkers on and just go, no, this is what I'm looking for, nothing else. That's it.
Right.
Yeah, it's so
Right.
difficult. So
Oh,
difficult.
yeah. Sure.
What is your number one craft tip, or at least the best craft tip that you've been given? What can you give us?
I am going to tell you from my own experience, my number one craft tip, when you are stamping and using ink, here's an ink pad, okay? You open up your ink pad to use it, right? And you have it laying on your desk. And if you don't close it right away, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have ink all over the project you're making, your hands, possibly your face, maybe your clothes, because you're going to lean into it, you're going to touch it, you're going to do something. Like, look at this. See this piece of paper?
Hang on, let me make you big. Let me make you big. Hang on,
Okay.
girl.
Okay.
There she is.
Yeah. So I have my ink pad and say this is open on my desk and say this is the card I'm working on. And I accidentally, do this. Well, look at that. Now I've got to figure out a way to save that card because I've just gotten ink all over it. And this ink dries really quickly. And if you're lucky, there's something you can do to save that card so that you don't have to tear it up and start over again. So what I would do for that, I just put another layer on top of it because I am the layering queen. I am. But how to prevent it in the first place? Use your ink pad and close it up. Shut that little puppy.
We're talking puppies now? I thought we were doing craft making.
Yes, this is your puppy. Shut this puppy up. Means close the lid, people. And then you won't get ink everywhere on your hands, on your glasses, wherever. Because trust me, I've had it everywhere. On me, on other people. It's crazy. Crazy.
And of course, it helps the ink pad to stop drying out so quickly too.
This is true. This is true. Although we do have re-inkers, so you can re-ink any stamp pad that you forget to shut, you forget to close it, just re-ink it and you'll be ready to go. Yeah, it's all good.
Which occasion or which holiday do you particularly like to craft for the most?
Christmas. Yes, I love Christmas. So I do a lot of crafts for Christmas. Here's a little coffee cup I made. And
hang on, you didn't warn me. I've got to make you goddess again.
Sorry.
There you go.
So this is a coffee cup, and I covered it with designer series paper, which is, this red layer. This is designer series paper. And then I put some cardstock on it. This is a die cut. So I just cut this out using Like one of these. This is a die cutting machine. This is actually the mini. You can tell by this coffee cup how little this is.
It's tiny.
It's tiny. This one is the big one. So you've got a big one.
She's got the mama and the kid.
That's a big one. Yeah. Yes, I have the mama and the baby. And I love the baby because about 80% of all the dies I use, it'll fit in this baby because this is 3.5 inches. So it has a cutting space of 3.5 inches. And it's extremely lightweight, which is good for me because I have RA and I don't like picking up heavy things like this big one. It hurts me. So yeah. So I like the mini one. So get that out of the way. But yeah, so what I do with this coffee cup is I fill it with candy. So the lid comes off. It's a real coffee cup. You can drink out of it, but I'll fill it with candy or I'll fill it with some cocoa mix and maybe a gift card to Starbucks, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of things you can do with Stampin' Up products.
That kind of makes me jump right ahead to a completely different question that I didn't expect to come up today. But apart from your coffee cup, can you explain to us a time when you've thought outside of the box?
Oh, let me think. As
I mean,
far
the
as
coffee cup's a brilliant one, but you know, I want to find out if there's another one in there.
you. Sure. Like, you can make folders. This is a folder.
Oh, hang on. See, she didn't warn me again. She just brings it on up.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
So this looks like a card, right? It looks like a card when you're first looking at it. But what it really is a folder. It's got a belly band that comes off. So that comes off. And then it's a little folder. And what it holds inside, it holds cards on this side. So cards that I've made. Oops, upside down. Sorry. Cards. And these are thank you cards. And then the envelopes. And I've stamped on the back of the envelope as well. It says coffee. So, yeah. So this is just like a, yeah, so it's just like a little folder. And it doubles as actually as kind of like a card and as a note card holder. So you can make all kinds of things out of paper. I mean, all kinds. And I just love it. And especially with Stampin' Up! Because of the way everything coordinates. So it was really easy to make this. Very easy. Quick and simple.
That sounds like me.
I loved it. And I love you. So it's okay. Quick and simple.
Thank you. Is there anything you snack on while you're crafting?
Yes.
It's a silly question for you, I know, but
yes, pickles. I love my pickles. And today's pickles are sweet gherkins. That's the pickle for today. Sweet gherkins. And of course, my Mountain Dew. And then I also like Stack's potato chips. And quite often I'll eat them together. Potato chips and pickles. Those are my favorite. Yeah. Any kind of pickle. I love pickles.
She doesn't care as long as she's got a pickle near her. She's a happy little gherkin.
Yes, I am. I do love pickles.
I can just think of vinegar splodges all over the paper craft now. If ever you get a card from Tess, sniff it. If it smells of vinegar, you know it's a Tess authenticated card.
Yes. I love pickles. And the thing I'll do so I don't ruin my crafts. My kids make fun of me because I am a country girl, and sometimes I say my words a little different because of being from the South, and they make fun of me.
I wonder why.
I know, right? Your friend. It's terrible. But anyway, I put my pickles in a bowl and I drain all the juice off of them so that I can drink it later
Oh, heck.
because it's good stuff.
I had
It's like
forgotten
nectar.
about the pickle juice.
Pickle juice is good. It's good. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, if I drain the juice off the pickles, then if I knock the bowl over, I just have pickles rolling across my table and no juicy stuff to get my cards or my scrapbooks, messed up. So yeah,
Pickles it is. Okay. What was your biggest papercraft expense?
my biggest paper craft expense, I made journals for a friend of mine as her wedding gifts. And I think I made 175 of them. And so they were basically kind of like this, but only instead of individual cards inside, it was paper that I folded. And then I sewed them together at the spine and made little journals, and I decorated the outsides of them with paper. And I took the paper and I rolled it up. It's called quilling. I rolled it up and I made a bunch of things for individuals that I knew because the bride, who I just loved to pieces, she told me like some of her guests were into Bigfoot. So I made a giant bare foot and I stamped Sasquatch across it using alphabet stamps. Yeah. And
Wow.
yeah, and so I individualized those journals to a lot of her guests. And then some I just made kind of more generic with flowers. So yeah, that was my biggest paper crafting expense. And what word am I looking for? I'm having brain fog.
I don't know. I'm thinking of
Project.
pickles.
Project.
A pickle project. Okay.
Yes, project. That was it. But it was my gift to her for her wedding. So it was great.
And why not? Making somebody happy.
Right. And I made pew decorations for her as well.
Pew
So
pew pew.
yeah, you can do a lot with paper, people. I'm telling you. That's thinking outside the box too.
That
So
is thinking outside the box.
yes, it is.
We have time for one more question. Tess, pick a number between 40 and 82.
57.
Do you have a favourite part of the video making process?
A favorite part? There's my son. Say hi, son.
Hello.
Hi, son.
That's my baby. Okay, have a good time, son. Be careful out there. Bye. That's my 18-year-old. He's leaving to go see his girlfriend. So the favorite part of the video making process for me is just being personable, just like chit-chatting and, kind of like talking to each and every one of the people out there, especially because I do have some people who come back and watch all my videos, like all the time. And yeah, so I know them. And sometimes I call out to them, sometimes I don't, but I know they're watching, and that makes it more personable for me. And just kind of giving little bits and pieces of what's going on in my life while I'm doing my crafting. So I guess it's the chit chat. I like the chit chat,
That's Say it.
Chit chat. Because
When
I
comes
like
out
to
the
talk.
camera?
Yeah. Where's the camera? There it is. There it is. Yeah. But I do like to talk. And so that's my favorite part. It's kind of talking as I craft. So, yeah.
Right, Miss Tess. The time with me has come to an end. You can
Okay.
now cheer if you wish to.
I
But
can what?
you can cheer. You can cheer. You can go
Oh,
woohoo and start clapping them.
woo!
Get the
There we
party.
go.
I knew she would. Get the party poppers out.
Jonathan!
Um,
Jonathan! Okay.
but now we're going over to the chat and the people in the chat to find out what they are asking you.
Ooh,
So,
nice.
questions that have come up prior to this, I will start asking Tess. If you
Okay.
have any other questions, guys, we are only open for the next 15 minutes. So stick the questions in ASAP and we'll see what we can ask. Tess,
Yes.
question comes from David Browning.
Ooh, hi, David.
His question, it kind of comes in two parts, so bear with it.
Okay.
When you make any of these small changes to improve a card, you remember when you were saying, I just keep going until it's right for me, and I make little changes here and there. He
Right.
said, when you make any of these small changes to improve the card, do you ever have second thoughts about any change? And if so, are these easily reversed?
I really don't because when I make a change to the card, I will usually take the thing before I glue it down and kind of set it on the card to see if that's what's missing. And then I can just kind of look at it and say, yeah, that's what was missing. And then I glue that puppy down. So, yeah, so now if I glued everything down before I really kind of looked at it to determine whether that was the missing thing, then it would be a problem because our glue is like, once you glue it down, it's glued. Know what I'm saying?
I know what you're
So,
saying.
yeah. So that's what I do. I just place it on the card and eyeball it and think to myself, is that the missing component? And then I either say yes or no and go on from there. So yeah, that's what I do.
David, I hope that's answered your question. If not, give me a poke in the chat. Although I need more of a poke because I need to know what needs to be answered. Next two questions come from Affordably Crafty.
Ooh, hi, Kim.
She's a crafty one, she is, because she's not talking about the craft. She wants to know about your snacks. She
Ooh,
says, pickle flavoured potato chips, yay or nay, Tess?
yay. Anything pickled flavor is a good thing. Trust me, y'all.
Chocolate
It's
covered.
good. Good thing. Good thing. Nothing with a pickle is yucky or undoable. Anything with a pickle, 2 thumbs up.
There you go, Kim. I think that kind of answered that one.
Yes.
Her next question, aside, I know this is going to be difficult and I apologise, but aside from Stampin' Up, what would you suggest is the best place for bargain paper crafting supplies? You know, affordably crafty.
I know, right? I would have to say if you cannot buy Stamping Up because it's just not in the budget to buy Stamping Up, I would first say save your money up to buy Stamping Up because the quality is unmatched by anything else. Now, if you want second quality, or if you're not so concerned about the quality, you can always go to Joann's with a coupon and buy paper from Joann's. I think Joann's has better paper than Michael's. So if you can't buy Stamping Up and you can't wait to save your money to buy it, because we have variety packs that give you all different colors in a pack, and it's $8. $8.75. Sorry. And
But
I
for
think
how
that's
much
very
paper?
affordable. Yeah, but if you can't do that, then Joann's is always a place that you can go with a coupon. So,
And that's, of course, if you're in the States and have a Joann's.
right. If you're in Canada or another place in the world, I'm not sure. I know that Stamping Up is all over the world. So, once again, my first suggestion at $8.75, I think that's pretty affordable, really. And the quality of the paper is, I mean, you're not going to find paper with better quality. So,
But
that
what do
would
you
be.
get for that money? How many sheets? What size?
It depends on they have 12 by 12 sheets of paper, and then they have 8.5 by 11. And if you live anywhere but the US, then those dimensions are a little different, because I think that they're like 9 by 12 or something in the UK. I don't know what your standard sizes, or is it 9 by 12 or something?
We
I don't
have
know.
12 by 12, 9 by 12, 8 by 8, 6 by 6.
It's probably 9 by 12, I think. And we also have 6 by 6 paper here in the US as well. But our standard size of paper is 8.5 by 11. And I believe we're the only place in the whole world that has that size as a standard sheet of paper. Like, it's like what your copy paper is, like your regular standard sheet size. That's what Stampin' Up! Will have in other parts of the world. Our part of the world, 8.5 by 11, 12 by 12, and 6 by 6. So, yeah. So it depends on where you live. But
Thank
those are the different sizes.
you. Lovely. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Next question comes from Cheryl Rundle.
Hi, Cheryl.
She says, Tess, do you watch Cindy A. Lewis tutorials? Because she makes beautiful items too.
I have not ever watched anyone named Cindy A. Lewis, but I will definitely check that out. So thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that, girl. Thank you.
Pickle up to Cheryl.
That's it.
We have another question. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Sorry, just got scratched by a fuzzball. Okay. Next question again comes from Miss Affordably Crafty. And I've got to say, Kim, very typical question from you, and I was semi-expecting this one. She says, what is your most unconventional material that you have used in crafting?
Ooh. As far as card making is concerned, the most unconventional thing that I've used that most people who card make don't use is yarn. I have used yarn, and I have never seen anyone else in card making use yarn. So Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell yarn. We sell ribbons and twine and things like that, but no yarn. So I have made some things with yarn and used them in my card making. So that's it. That's the answer.
Thank you
you,
very
Kim.
much. Now, there doesn't seem to be any more questions right now. So what I will say is, Tess, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
We will end everything here. I'm making arm motions and I'm not even on camera. We will end everything here. And I say thank you very much for popping in the spotlight. Everybody who, sorry.
I was just going to say thank you for having me, Lisa. Miss Ladybird loves. Thank
That's
you.
okay, my little vinaigrette. For everyone that came into the live chat, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for your comments. Those people who have sent compliments to Tess, she will get them in a moment, so don't fret. Wait, we've got one last question and we will make it the last one.
Okay.
Oh, so close to running away. Last question comes from Dip Minitary.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
she says, would you consider a custom order?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah, I would definitely consider that. Being retired, I do have some free time. I do. So yeah, I would consider that.
I'm quite glad that Miss Beverly has asked that, because I was going to ask exactly the same question in a moment when you ran away. So all good there.
Yeah. Great
Okay.
question.
Everybody watching the replay, whether that be here on my channel or whether that be over on Tess's, if she ever gets the video up, then thank you very, very much, because it's all appreciated.
It is.
Miss Tess, thank you very much. People in the chat, thank you very much. And I will bid you all adieu. Now go subscribe to Tess.
I do. Bye.
Bye-bye.